Omnipresent God does ever forget. Sparkling greetings to everyone. We, the seeds of 8th F, are truly excited to exhibit before you an unflinching truth of law of attraction under the blessings of God. Let us move ahead into the legacy of Almighty and the genre of His mercy for true and innocent wishes.
Once upon a mountain top, three little trees stood and dreamed what they wanted to become when they grew up. The first tree looked up at the stars and said,
When I grow up, I want to become a treasure chest. I want to be filled with gold and precious gems. Everyone would admire my beauty.
The second woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, "This tree is strong. It is perfect for me."
I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I shall be the strongest ship in the world.
Third little tree looked down into the valley below, where busy men and women worked in a busy town, and said,
I don't want to leave this mountain top at all. I want to grow so tall that people should stop and look at me and raise their heads like they're praising God. I want to be the tallest tree in the world.
Years passed, the rain came, the sun shone, and the little tree grew tall. One day, three woodcutters climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "This tree is beautiful. It is perfect for me."
Now I shall be made into a treasure chest. I shall be filled with gold.
Second little tree looked at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean and thought,
Now I shall sail mighty waters. I will be a powerful ship for mighty kings.
the third tree felt her heart sink when the last woodcutter looked her way. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought her to the carpenter's shop. But the carpenter fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. The once beautiful tree was not covered with gold, nor with treasure. She was coated with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took her to the shipyard. But no mighty sailing ship was made that day. Instead, the one strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat. She was too small and too weak to sail on an ocean or even a river. Instead, she was taken to a little lake. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into the strong beams and left her in a lumberyard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted was to stay on mountain top and point towards the god. Many days and nights passed. The three trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as the young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. I wished I could make a cradle for him, his husband whispered. The mother squeezed his hand and smiled as the starlight shone on the smooth and sturdy wood. And suddenly, the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the old fish boat. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree quietly sailed out into the lake. Soon, a thunderstorm and a thrashing storm arose. The little tree shuddered. She knew she did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through it, the wind and the rain. The tired man awakened. He stood up, stretched out his hand, and said, "Peace." The storm stopped as quickly as he had begun. And suddenly the secretary knew he was carrying the King of the heaven and earth. One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten woodpile. She flinched as she was carried through an angry, jeering crowd. She shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly, harsh, and cruel. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. He had made the third tree strong. And every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. That was better than being the tallest tree in the world. Next time, when you feel down because you didn't get what you want, sit tight and be happy because God is thinking of something better to give you.
When the things don't go in our ways, knows that God has a better plan for us. God can almost do anything for us. Jesus reminded us through his teachings and his stories how much God loves us. Place your trust in Father God, and God will always give you what is best for you. Each of the three trees got what they wanted, just not in the way they had imagined. We don't always know that what God's plans are for us, but we know that his ways are not like our ways, but his ways are always best.
Sometimes you have to stop about worrying, wondering, and doubting. Have faith in yourself that things will work out. Maybe not in a way that you have planned, but just how it meant to be. Thank you. This was the skit performed by 8th F students. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a nice day.